Hey everybody, we have a litter update for mini Australian Labradoodle puppies. These little puppies are 2 weeks old, and in today's video we're going to tell you all about what happened to the puppies over the past week, give you an update, just a tiny little bit on what we're seeing in terms of personality, what they are going to be doing over the next week, and we're also going to give you a little bit of an update on Mama Belle. So we're going to start with Mama Belle. So the reason we're starting with her today is because we had some excitement with Belle over the past week. When these puppies were day 7, we discovered that Belle had a hard lump at the back of her bottom rear mammary gland. It was about the size of a hazelnut, really hard. And then when we felt around a bit more, we found a few other flatter, hard spots around that back mammary gland. Now this isn't unusual when you have a litter with only 3 puppies. These 3 little Labradoodles are minis, and as you can see, they're all taking full advantage of Belle's milk bar because they have nice big tummies, but there's only so much they can eat. So what happens is the mammary glands can become stuck. They get blocked. There's so much milk in there and it's not coming out, it's not being expressed, and so we have a blocked duct. Now it's really important when you have this that you get on it right away. This is called mastitis. And mastitis can come in 2 forms. It can be a blocked duct, that's usually how it starts. And if you can get that under control and get everything moving again, you'll usually be just fine quite quickly. But if you don't do anything, that can quickly lead to a situation that literally is fatal for your girl. It can develop into a bacterial infection quite quickly, and then we have a situation where your dog is needing a mastectomy, or your dog may even die from the temperature she gets from the infection. So part of what we do, Belle's just doing a big cleanup here on the puppies, but part of what we do every day when we're in with Belle is we do a nose to tail exam of her. So we start here, we check on her face, we look at her teeth, just quickly, just look, make sure everything's doing well there. The eyes, we check her ears, we make sure nothing's happening there, and then we go and do a full check of the milk bar. And I'm just gonna flip Belle over so I can show you what I'm talking about. Hey baby girl, thanks. So it was on her left one here, right here, and we felt the big lump way at the back here, and then right around this final mammary gland. And if you'll look now, you'll see there's lots of red marks on this one mammary gland. Those are like hickeys because the puppies suck and suck and suck, but they're not in the right place. Sometimes they get in the right place. And if you look higher up, you'll see that these nipples are being used a bit as well on Belle, but I can tell you the puppies don't go up here very often. So nature looks after this. When they aren't getting used, then the milk production goes down. So what do? How do you handle this? There you go, thanks Belle. Well, what you do is start with a really old-fashioned, really simple thing, and that's cabbage leaves. Green cabbage has the ability to absorb some of the fluids in the gland. So you simply take some leaves, you put it over the gland, you hold them in place for about 8 minutes, and you do that 3 times a day. And that starts to get things loosened up a bit. That back teat was also lumpy, it was hard, and it was a bit warm. So you start massaging it and you want to get things flowing again. That's your whole goal. So cabbage leaf first, and then you start doing a bit of massaging. Now Belle was not keen on that. She felt very uncomfortable when I tried to do that because it was hurting her. So we have another thing that we also use that's called phytolacca. And phytolacca is a plant, and it actually is poisonous, but the pellets that we use to make a spray are made from the root. And it's just little tiny pellets. It goes in a small glass jar, and then you fill up the jar half with vodka, half with water. Who knew that dogs would have vodka to deal with a mammary issue? You shake it up, you spray it on the impacted area, give it a quick rub in, and then you also spray it directly into the dog's mouth. And so we do that twice a day, as well as the cabbage leaves. And so this all happened on day 7. On day 9, everything was back to normal. So now what's the risk? Well, what can happen is when you're trying to get everything moving and you're trying to absorb that excess fluid, you can also start to dry the girl out. So you don't want the milk bar to disappear because, of course, we've still got puppies to feed. So there's a tricky and fine balance in there that you have to achieve to make sure that you're helping your girl out, resolving the problem, but you're also making sure that there's lots of milk still left for the puppies. And this leads me to why we weigh the puppies all the time, because we weigh the puppies to make sure that they're doing well. We want them to be gaining about 10% of their birth weight every day for the first few weeks. And then after we did all of this with Belle, we wanted to make sure that indeed we hadn't shut the milk bar down too much. And then what we can do is if we need to help mom produce more milk, we can use another natural product that's called fenugreek. And fenugreek is just a little supplement we have. You just sprinkle it on the food. It smells like maple syrup, and that helps the milk production. And then finally, we have one final natural product, and that's sunflower lecithin, not in the liquid, but in the powder format. We sprinkle that on Belle's food as well, and that also can help mastitis from coming back. So lots of things that you have on hand. This all comes from years of experience. We've whelped out hundreds, literally, of puppies and hundreds of different litters. We've run into myriad different issues and concerns. And over the 40 plus years that we've been breeding, we've picked up things that do work and things that don't work. Now, having said all of this, it's very important that you don't always try to fix things on your own. You need to understand when it's time to go to the vet. And the main consideration for Belle and having the mastitis was if she was running a temperature. If she had developed a temperature, then we would have known she has an infection and she would have needed antibiotics. Now, we always have antibiotics on hand, but I never administer anything like that without first checking with my vet and explaining the situation. We try to look after things with a girl with brand new puppies like this over the phone, because of course the vet clinic is where all the germs are, and we try not to expose the girl to that nor the stress of it. So if we had needed to, I simply would have phoned my vet, explained what was going on, and then I have a variety of different products on hand that I can use and administer to her unless she does have to go in. So that was all the excitement that we had going on here for the first week with the puppies, or not the first week, from week 1 to week 2 in terms of Mama Belle. So she handled it all so easily. Nothing bothered her. She was only uncomfortable when I was massaging it, and that was quickly alleviated by just reducing the pressure. And then you can put a little bit of ice on there as well to numb it a bit before you start to do the massage. And then you hand express the milk as well, just to get things going. Because what happens and what you really want, the biggest, most helpful thing of all, are these giant little suction cups that come in these puppies' mouths. You can't believe the hold these puppies can get on there and how strong they are pulling. So what we want to do is get the nipple to be soft enough that they can attach on again. Because when the gland is hard, the puppies can't get that suction. And if you'll look at Pink Collar Girl here right now, you can see her tongue is wrapped right around the nipple. That's going to move dark blue out of the way a bit there. Oh, sorry. It's okay, Belle. You can see how strong of a grip she has there. And this is a puppy who's almost asleep while she's nursing. But she really, really has a good grip. And what happens if Belle were to stand up right now, she would remain attached. That's how strong her grip is. She can hold her whole body weight up with just her mouth. So you can imagine when you're trying to get things flowing that the best possible thing is for one of these little suction cups to come along. So what we did is we came in and we alternated all 3 puppies. We would hold them so that they were on the affected area, get them to nurse, even if it was for a very short period of time, and then we would take her from there. So Mama Belle had lots of help from all of her babies and all of us to get everything to work out just fine. And so she's perfectly comfortable now, no problem at all, no need for antibiotics and no need for any veterinary assistance to be used. So for Belle, this week she is starting to leave the puppies a bit more. She's now eating some of her meals in the doodle den with our other adult dogs, and she's asking just to come and walk around a bit more. So she's quite comfortable leaving them. She feels secure, she knows they're safe, and she's just starting to get them more working into a little bit more independent mode. What all parents try to do with their kids. And now let's talk about what the puppies have done this week. So last week their big milestone that we were looking for was that they would have doubled their birth weight, and everybody did that without any issue. And this week we're looking to see if anybody's opened their eyes. So puppies are born with their eyes sealed shut, and the reason for that is because they're not able, their central nervous system is not able to manage all of the stimuli that comes from sight and from sound when they're this young. So nature has designed it so that their eyes and ears are shut, so they don't have that barrage of stimulation when they're this little. When they're ready, when their central nervous system is prepared, the first thing that happens is their eyes open, and then usually about a week to 10 days after that, their ears will open as well. So usually we see eyes opening between day 10 and about up to day 20. There's quite a long window there where it's perfectly fine for the eyes to open. So we don't get concerned, for instance, if it's day 16 and the puppies still don't have their eyes open. And so we're going to show you if anyone has their eyes open today, and if they do, tell you about when they open their eyes, because there is some eyes to look at. There are a couple of things to look at here. Otherwise, what have the puppies been doing? Eating, sleeping, repeating. Their job is just to grow right now. Now we hope you've been enjoying our videos on TikTok and on our Facebook reels that show you all sorts of little tidbits of things that go on with these juicy little plump puppies during their first 8 weeks that they're here with us. We have our TikTok video talking a little bit more about Belle's mastitis, and we also have one about the puppies when they're all jerking around when they're sleeping and what that actually means. So now let's go through the puppies. We're going to do them in birth order like we always do, and we're going to tell you if they've got their eyes open yet or not, where they are in terms of their weight and where that puts them in the group. And we'll just tell you a little bit about what we've seen personality-wise. I have all their weights recorded on my phone because we have our program there that gives me an alert immediately if there's any concern in terms of their weight. So our firstborn puppy is Black Collar Boy here. This is our black tri puppy, and by tri we mean that he is both a party, which is the two colors, and he's also a phantom. We just don't see too much of those phantom markings in this puppy because the party takes over on his legs. But we do see them inside his ear. You can see the tam points there, side of his face. We also have it in his vent, that's the under the tail area. And he's just starting to develop it on his what we call chits, which are similar to his eyebrows. And when I showed you that, I bet you saw his eyes are open. Yep, Mr. Black Collar opened his eyes on day 12. They started to open on day 10. I could see the little slits. On day 11, they were half open, and then on day 12, they were wide open like they are now. And you can see his eyes are blue. All puppies have blue eyes to begin with. He will not have blue eyes as an adult. His eyes will be a dark brown to match his beautiful black eye patches. Right, handsome? This little guy, well, he's a communicator at the moment. If he gets up to the milk bar and there's nothing there, or he can't find his favorite spot, oh, you can hear him for quite a distance. He can set up a very healthy wail. And you know, he can't hear himself, obviously, because his ears are sealed shut, but he certainly makes sure that everybody else can hear if he's unhappy about that fact. So he's quite a talker, and he knows how to get what he wants, and he never hesitates to shove his sister or his brother out of the way using his legs there in order to keep his position at the milk bar. So that's our, oh, and he weighs 692 grams. So this week, he is puppy number 2 in terms of size. There you go, little guy. And put you back down there, see if you can find your spot. Next, we have the bruiser of the litter here, dark blue collar boy. So dark blue collar boy is a party, just like his brother here. You're going the wrong way, sweetheart. Let's put you back over here. And okay, you're in a hurry to find me? Perfect, because I want you. And he is a chocolate Sable. Now, because he's Sable, you'll get a different little variation on the hue of the color of chocolate. So you'll see it's very light. It's almost like a red caramel. But because genetically he is a chocolate Sable, which is actually what Belle is. I mean, she certainly doesn't look chocolate, does she? But genetically, that is a chocolate Sable dog. Sable presents in so many different ways. It's just a fascinating color, or it's actually a pattern. I like how this guy has a little spot on his elbow here. I also really like how he has a clean white spot right from the tip of his nose down to his tail here, and then his beautiful markings on either side. And Mr. Dark Blue Collar may be the big kid on the block. He doesn't have his eyes open. So what size you are has nothing to do with development. Sometimes people refer to the smallest puppy in the litter as a runt. No, that's not true at all. A runt is a puppy who has had a disadvantage, who has some challenges of some sort. The smallest puppy in the litter is not the runt, just simply the smallest puppy. And just because you're the biggest puppy like Mr. Bruiser Dark Blue Collar here, doesn't mean you're going to do anything faster than anyone else. And clearly he's not ready to open his eyes. If you look at them closely, you'll see they're very sealed shut there. There's not really even any slit showing through. Hate to BB. And this bruiser, dark blue collar boy, is 779 grams. So he is just moving up there, and he clearly has no problem finding lots of nourishment at Belle's milk bar. Hey Belle, how about if I give you your little boy here, and then I'll take your little girl. And the last puppy in this litter is our one and only girl, our little pink collar girl. And we'll hope that Belle doesn't make her go pee by licking her there, which is what she's trying to do. Well, she's going to do a little face wash. And this little girl is a caramel. She's not a Sable. And she is a red caramel with a little bit of white markings. So she has that white chest, she has 4 white toes, and then this tiny little sweet little mark on the top of her head. And you'll see that she also does not have her eyes open. Now she's asleep right now, and I can tell you that she does have a little bit of a slit in her eyes. I've seen that a little bit, so I'm going to say that probably by the end of the weekend that she might have those eyes opened up. Oh, look at, she's going like, they're putting her eyebrows up as if she can hear what I'm saying. Pretty little girl. This little girl is the one with the big brains right now. She's the best problem solver because she's the smallest, and she is 706 grams. So she's not the smallest, sorry. She's the second smallest. I was wrong. I lied, and I said before that that he was second. So no, black collar boy is still the smallest in the litter. Sometimes I can't do numbers very well. But because she is not as big as her brother dark blue collar there, she's figured out that when she's at the milk bar, she can go underneath and she can get a good spot on the opposite side, and then her brothers don't interfere with her ability to eat. So she's gaining well, she's doing great. All of these guys at this rate at these weights are really doing well. So we'll see, we'll wait and see if she's the next one to open her eyes or if it's going to be Mr. Dark Blue Collar Boy. And maybe while Belle's not looking, we can just put them all up right here. Oh, she heard me say that. We just have them all come out. Hey, can I just have the babies come out, or are you going to get all upset and clean them all off? Hey, there we go. We'll show everybody all your babies. Now, for those of you who are on this litter list, what we are going to be focusing on next week for you is finding a vet and a groomer and a trainer. And we have a video for you all about that. These are 3 of your most important partners in raising your puppy. And it's important that we get started on finding those people for you right away. So we will be sending you some information and a video about how to choose the best vet and groomer and trainer for your little mini Australian Labradoodle. Next week, we'll see who's got their eyes open, and who knows, maybe somebody will even have their ears open. I don't think so. The puppies are walking now, and by next week, I bet we'll see them really roaring around in here. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments below. I'm always happy to talk to anybody about anything to do with Labradoodles. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so that you get notified whenever we have a new video out. And of course, if you have a sec, if you can give us a like, if you like this video, that would be great. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next week.